What is up, y'all? And today we're gonna be talking about the Ryzen 5000 series. What is it? What it means for us gamers, compatibility, and finally, should you upgrade? Right after this. So the Ryzen Zen 3 is the fourth iteration of the Zen microarchitecture from AMD for desktop CPUs. Now, the Ryzen series 5000 has just been announced to be released this November 5 that claims to have 19% more IPC or instructions per core with the same TDP or the same wattage as from the previous generation. So we're interested to see how heat is handled with these processors, if it's the same from the old architectures because it's processing more but the wattage is the same. Another thing that AMD told us from their announcement was that the cores from this new CPU are now communicating with each other, and all the cores can now communicate with the L3 cache, preferably the 32 megabytes L3 cache. Now, all the cores having access to the L3 cache and also communicating with each other has good implications, especially in gaming. As for gaming, AMD claims that these processors have significant amount of gaming uplift, specifically the 5900X. They're claiming it to have at least, on average, at least 26% increase in gaming performance. Now, 26% I think is really worth it, but let's see the price and the availability of this chip once it hits the stores. Now, compatibility. Speaking of compatibility, for those people who, like me, are using the 400 series of motherboards, there are some good news. Asus and MSI has recently announced that they will be releasing a BIOS update, although it is beta, on January for the 400 series boards to be compatible with the 5000 series Ryzen. Now, although it is just a beta update, it is a good sign from the motherboard manufacturers, and also it is expected that more of the brands will follow MSI and Asus's announcement regarding the BIOS update. So should you upgrade? This is the million-dollar question that all of us PC enthusiasts and gamers ask when these kinds of technology go out. Now, for this specific Ryzen 5000 series, I think there's some considerations that you need to make. One is availability. If availability in your region is fine, then I think it's okay to upgrade. But if the price of the 3000 series go down significantly but if the prices of the Ryzen 3000 series significantly go down, then I think the value for your money would be on the Ryzen 3000. Another thing to consider is the CPU bundles. Now, the Ryzen 5000 series, preferably the Ryzen 5900X and the 5800X, are bundled with Far Cry 6. So, if you're into that game, you want to play that game, and you're also going to build or is planning to update your system, then that is a value proposition for you. Another thing to consider is Intel. Now, Intel will be releasing their next product line on the first quarter of 2021. Probably January 2021. So it's interesting to see how the prices turn and tumble when that time comes. Another thing aside from those is that the stock cooler will only be available on the Ryzen 5600X because AMD told us that their stock coolers won't be able to cool these bad boys, the 5800X and the 5900X. Thus, you need to buy separate air or water cooling for those CPUs, so that will be another consideration if especially you are building a budget PC or if you're on a budget. And then lastly is pricing. So $50 more from the previous gen with around 26% average gaming uplift performance for the 5900X. Not bad. Especially that there's no more 16:2, it's only 32 MB cache. I'm interested to see how that CPU will perform in games. Let me know your thoughts. Are you on the fence of buying a new CPU? Are you going to upgrade? Are you gonna let it pass until the holidays? Let me know on the comments down below. And as usual, see you on the next one.